Hi there, welcome to Prime Time. I'm back with Daniel from the Splendid Agency. We're sat at the front of Drink Lobby, lovely little place to come to, so I apologise in advance for any noise Nazis out there who kind of get annoyed at cars going past, but it's real life.
No, it's quiet, yeah. It's
look, if you're worried about this, there's bigger things to worry about in life, aren't there, at the moment?
I'm actually happy there's cars and people going around, because it's, lockdown, and now we're kind of out of it, so it's good to see people going around and society behaving like society once again.
But I would recommend this place. Now you showed me this is to shoot here, the Drink Lobby, lovely little place, get a bottle of wine, sit out in the front, or a beer or whatever.
Yeah, it's a lovely place to come. It's quite in the centre of Limassol, really close to the centre, so yeah, definitely recommend it.
Right, so last time we spoke about AI, it's quite dystopian, so I thought we'd speak again, but I'm going to completely flip it on its head. I give an absolute...
Yeah, let's not be too dystopian.
Yeah, it's such a good reference for it that I think by the end of this, I'm going to be pushing a nanobot in my ear or something like that. So, right, what I wanted to talk about was transhumanism and AI. All right, so do you want to start off giving us a basic outline of what transhumanism is?
Okay, transhumanism. Transhumanism. Well, first of all, it's a philosophical argument that definitely is. But what transhumanists or transhumanism basically believes is that at some point we are getting close to a point of singularity, of what they call it, whereby
so this is Ray Kurzweil you're talking about, this sort of thing.
Sorry?
Ray Kurzweil?
Yeah. Correct. Yeah. And it's at the point whereby the processing power of computers will become strong enough to be smarter, let's say, than humans. Let's put it real simple. It actually has three pillars. One is super kind of longevity, super intelligence, and super well-being. So it's basically it's the creation of a superhuman mode, and that superhuman coming from the influence of technology. So it's our species evolved through some technological advancements, primarily AI, machine learning, and all that.
All right. Me personally, I think we're at version 1.1 at the moment because we always have a phone in our hand. It's literally on our person 24 hours a day.
Correct.
All right. So already that's adapted us as human beings to have an extra blob of knowledge, shall we say, in our hand. We can, in theory, we've got all of the world's information and knowledge on Google. However we choose to use, that's down to you, whether you want to look at, I don't know, dancing ladies or whatever your thing may be.
We can act smarter nowadays because we can just pull up our phone and just Google something real quick. And yes, knowledge is, information is readily available nowadays. Something that we didn't have 20 years ago, 30 years ago, as far as I remember. And we do have it today. And yes, that is sort of our species has evolved in a way because of that. And this is proven that we do get exposed to more information right now within the span of couple of months than what the average human being back in the 80s got exposed in a matter of years. So this is undeniable. Okay, and technology has reached obviously now it's at the peak it's ever been, but I'm sure like next year is going to be at another peak, and the year after that another peak.
All right, so it's probably best to start mentioning about what's the Elon Musk brain link? Neuralink, that's the one. Now, I'm quite intrigued about this.
It's something. Call him Elon Mutton.
Elon Musk.
Oh, I heard Elon Mutton, and I'm like,
right. Well, yeah, that's his famous uncle. He's really New World Order, this guy, the Mutton Man. But
we haven't had that many beers, by the way. This is the first beer. So yeah.
With this, the positive aspects I kind of wanted to discuss on this is what we saw over the past 18 months. When humans all work together, for example, where we found a vaccine We had it all on open source,
Yeah.
and we all worked together for the common good. And then, okay, it splintered off to various countries and companies having their own remedy. But if we did have the Neuralink, I'm talking like version 5.8, wouldn't it really get rid of wasted emotions, things like, anger, war, all these things where we can just look to work as one as a team? Or do these emotions mean that you're human?
Wow.
I better get you another drink.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, look, emotions like aggression, like wars, conflict, and emotions like aggression and envy and love and all that. All these emotions are actually quite primal emotions. They, if anybody's reading into neuroscience or evolutionary biology and all that, you'd know that those sort of emotions are triggered by our reptilian brain, which is our amygdala, in a sense. So those are inherent within the human species, kind of like the fight or flight, the fear and all of that. And those are primal driving factors of humans. They are. Now, would it, if Neuralink could come in, or some sort of Neuralink could come in and tap in and kind of box those fears, those kind of primal instincts out, the negative ones. We're talking about the negative ones, right? That in my mind, that would be perfect. That would be a perfect world. Then again, you might argue that what if I don't know, some alien race attacks us and we've just uprooted all our primal conflict instincts and we can't fight back. So anyway, that's a very philosophical and theoretical argument, but at this moment in time. So let's assume that technology reaches, which it could, in all honesty, reach that point whereby it keeps the best attributes of a human, cooperation, collaboration, knowledge, and all that, and it weeds out the negative ones. Could we achieve much more in humans? Obviously we can. Transhumanism, in a sense, does look towards that as being one of the things that could possibly, just bring our species onto the next level, onto the next version, the better version of ourselves. But it's just a huge topic area, because transhumanism can be just you becoming some sort of let's say in a word of a cyborg. It could also mean though that you reach that point where you've aged 200 years, not 100, not 80, because they are looking into longevity, and there are programs already nowadays, DNA manipulation and all that they're looking into that to actually extend human lifespan, keep you from aging that quickly, and there are some programs which are looking into keeping you from dying altogether, not in your physical form, because your bodies will wear out eventually. I do not think we'll reach that level of technology whereby we cannot, our bodies will not wear out, because that our bodies wearing out is actually inherent to the environment that we live in, gravity, earth and all that. It takes its toll on your body, all the elements, etc. So but it's longevity, immortality through transferring your neural circuits into a digital reality, let's say, and there are active projects towards that direction.
Well, just to jump on that then, so if we are essentially uploading our being, spirit, whatever you call it, to the filter, the cipher, well, who's to say that it's like solipsism, with the brain you don't know what this is reality or not. Okay, because it's like the brain in a jar with the eyes. Okay, with that, if they are doing that type of thing, then could they not just build a virtual world anyway, where they're uploading your consciousness and you do have your body, because you're kind of
Yes,
going
yes,
into that sort of thing?
there's massive programs.
So it's like a question of what is reality after that, I guess, isn't it?
Right now, we're really at the beginning. And I'm afraid to say this, Paul.
Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna reach that stage within my lifespan or yours. Okay, I hope we do, because I don't know. Like most people, I think I'm also one of my major fear is the fear of dying. You know, nobody wants to die. Obviously, it's the point of the inevitable. But there are many ways that they're looking into to guaranteeing that kind of immortality. All right, one's like uploading to a virtual world. Another thing is actually transferring your neural circuits into another form, another body form. It can be a machine, it can be an android, it can be something else that actually has a physical form and is walking about and interacting with society, but it actually has your experiences, your thoughts, your knowledge, your everything. You just keep progressing, you know, within that form as a human being. And this is actually, there's a lot of such projects going on all around the world, but they're still at the very early stages. Going a little bit back to what you mentioned right at the start, which is kind of using this form of technology and kind of the evolving into a transhumanist realm, but keeping all the good things and weeding out all the bad things of humanity. I think it's a very interesting notion to pursue. I think it might actually finally bring us as a species working collectively, especially, but you know, I get the feeling that sometimes humanity needs some form of a external trigger to get us working together. You know, if for example somebody came to me and told me, look, we're doing this in order for humanity to become an ever-expanding species, like a spacefaring nation, spacefaring species. Sorry, not nation, species. Then I'd be on board for that. You know, I'd be like, I don't want humanity to die. I want humanity to survive throughout the eons, and that means even after, you know, the Earth gets gobbled up by the sun at millions of years from now. So I want humanity to persist and keep growing and keep at it as a species that, you know, we had the luck, because it's pure chance of living on a planet within a certain distance from a star that can actually yield life in some form. So I look at it in that sense. But going back to transhumanism, is it possible to be live forever in a digital form, inside a server? Yes. Is it possible that you live in a digital form inside some other body, mechanical or in some ways biological? Possibly, yes. Again, all these, theoretically it's achievable, and the technology towards that direction actually surprisingly is there at the moment. The active projects working towards that direction, not just Neuralink, there's numerous other projects going on.
Because what really also intrigued me about this was really on the lockdown, and you think to yourself, how much time do humans waste on politics? You know what I mean? Like, if you took...
How much time do humans waste on anger and bitterness?
And because it's really one team against the other. You know, and and again, what we said about the virus and where we did get the inoculation, it was again done on open source. Everybody working together. Let's put politics to one side. Let's do this. It shows it can be done.
Politics came later.
That's what I mean. Then it starts. Then it slowed
after
everything
the vaccines
down.
came out, but I mean, just that everybody said, okay, we're going to open up our data. We're going to share our data with all the other research centers to get a vaccine out in time, and humanity managed to get vaccines out within 8 months. That's incredible. Never
starting from zero as well.
Never been done before. Never been. Vaccines normally take 3 years. You know, at the very minimum. So, I mean, that just shows what could happen at that level of collaboration. You know, So I don't know. I think it's admirable. I think it's something that we should pursue as a human society. In many ways, I won't say a staunch supporter, but I am a supporter of these various sort of notions.
Yeah.
But
you're more of an advocate then, would you say?
I am an advocate of it, yes. I am an advocate to a certain level of transhumanism. Obviously, it is philosophical, as we said in the beginning, at this moment in time. And it will definitely, most definitely render a lot of questions as technology progresses about regulation, ethical, moral concerns, and all that, which I think we're mature enough to handle at this moment in time. So, yeah.
Well, with the ethical concerns and things like this as well, as humans, we navigate this quite well. For example, we allow, looking at this, alcohol, we allow it because we know that 99.9% of us know how to use it, or various religions don't opt into it, you know, or whatever the case may be. You know, we don't just wake up every day and have a gin. You know, so you would work out a path of how to use it, when to use it. Let's say, to get back to the amygdala and things like this, maybe you have an amygdala holiday where you have 2 weeks off to go and really be human, you unplug, like Brave New World or something like that. You know?
Actually, that would be very nice, because I'm pretty sure that the vast majority of people have experienced more frequent than not some sort of amygdala hijack in their daily lives, you know, where you do something, you say something, and then, you know, just a few minutes later you're thinking, oh wow, I shouldn't have done that, I shouldn't have said that, and that's amygdala hijack, in a sense. Great work being done by a lot of neuroscientists around the world concerning these, how our behaviors work, and there's Sapolsky being one of them, for example, Dick Swap being another, and so, you know, it would be nice if we could kind of tweak and make ourselves a little bit better, in a way, like really kind of tweak out some bad things that came from evolution, and keep some good things. Could we potentially do that? I'd like to think yes, but I think we're still at very, very early stages of technology, like even AI. It sometimes it feels that it's more of a buzzword than it is an actual tangible result. We can say, oh yeah, we've achieved AI and we've achieved machine. No, we haven't. We've just started out, but we are moving much faster at it than what we were 10 years ago, what we even were 2 years ago. We are moving much faster because there's so many little projects going on that eventually do come together in various ways. It's either a small company working on a specific thing that gets bought over by a larger company, like Microsoft or the big players, etc., that buy out the technology to use it for their own projects, similar ones that they're running right now. So, or it's just some breakthrough science that happens either on an academic level or a joint private and academic level, etc. So there are massive projects, numerous projects going on at different areas of artificial intelligence, of machine learning, of Android technology, of all these things, quantum computing, and to actually be able to store this mass of data and make sense of it. But we're still very early days. I think we'll see some improvements definitely in the next 10 years. But I do anticipate that the major, like really major breakthroughs, if we're still alive, if still well, if we still haven't killed the planet by then, it will be in the next century, within the next.
Well, this is what they're saying about how to space travel could be, where we're essentially all. Okay, this is quite a left field thing I was watching, but it was like they upload all of our consciousness onto a tiny disc, which is shot on a point of a laser to whatever planet they found, because at that speed, and then it will just procreate the land, or whatever you call it, in whatever planet it would be. But just one final
We've
thought.
already done that with messages, actually. We have pointed messages, human messages, onto the stars years ago.
But like it's fired from a laser because it goes so fast.
And hoping that there's a response.
Yeah. Well, that's another point in itself, isn't it? You know, like, do you want a response?
But the pessimistic self would say, there's some sort of, anyone who's watched movies like Independence, they will say, no, I would like to be left alone rather than actually most theories about really quickly venturing into alien life do suggest that probably any form of alien life will be hostile or towards hostile. But would you want that? I think, we are a species that is inherently curious. We need to do that. We cannot keep. Look, it's obvious that we cannot keep doing what we're doing and survive. We're going to be extinct at some point. All right. Yeah. Even if we create our own, if we stop, environmental destruction, blah blah blah, and create a sustainable habitat, etc., etc., our planet is going to be gobbled up by the sun. In a few million years, we're going to be dead. Okay. Either way, so we have to venture outside of our planetary confinement. Okay, if we are to survive as a species. And you cannot not seek affirmation and confirmation that there is some other form of life form out there, right? Whatever good or bad it may be, you have to try it out, even if it means your detriment at the end of the day. You just have to, because then we've evolved so far, sitting here to this day, knowing by being curious. When the first human actually tried a kernel, right? They didn't know if it was going to kill them or not, but they tried it. I'm sure a few humans died trying berries and fruit that were poisonous over the eons, but now we know what's good and what's bad. In the same sense, we have to venture with technology and with our own self and with our future, being curious, being humble, being smart, and being courageous, and venture out and see what's there, and actually try and secure a future for the species.
All right, just a final thought then. Who's to say that we're not on version 38.7 now? You've been uploaded, and this is all virtual. And I'm just sat here because I'm the engineer, just to run a diagnostic test on your brain or something like that. This is an image of something when you were Daniel, when you were in your early 30s or mid 30s.
We couldn't help but bring in the dystopian on it.
No, but it's a lovely virtual world. It's lovely.
It is lovely. Yeah. It is lovely.
You created it.
I would say,
yeah. I've just popped in just to make sure everything's okay.
And the pandemic was a bug in the system.
Yeah, that's it. It was a cleansing.
No, I'm pretty sure we're not that. Science can prove that we're real as real gets. And we are a much better version of our 10,000 year ago self or our Spanish Inquisition self. But I think we are, I would love to think that humans in 1,000 years would look back at us right now and think that we right now are very primal. But curious. Curious nevertheless. So that's
all right. So I'm talking nonsense.
Yeah.
All right, man, let's wrap it up there. How can people get a hold of you?
Well, Splendid Agency. You can get a hold of us over there, and
it'll be on LinkedIn as normal.
LinkedIn on as normal. I mean, come on, it's 2021. Technology is there. We're easily accessible.
Is it 2021? Is it not 3842?
I don't know. It depends what calendar you're on.
All right, thanks everyone. See ya.
Thank you guys. See you next time as well.
Okay, bye. Cheers.